Alright, we're going to try doing a little bit of a voiceover on this video to see how things pan out. But anyways, welcome on in. This was our welcoming committee to Kingman Wash Road, just outside of Vegas on the south side of the Nevada-Arizona border. Just over the mountains that you'll see in some of these drone shots a little bit down the road here. You'll be able to see some mountains just over there. That is the Hoover Dam. But yeah, we're just pretty much, Winnie and I, this first part of the trip, we spent a week with just us, a couple nights in Nevada as we were traveling down to Peoria for some spring training baseball games. This is one of my favorite parts, when Winnie just stopped and listen, when a lady's gotta go, a lady's gotta go. Of course, when I was reviewing this, I screenshotted this and sent it to everybody in the family. So lucky y'all, you get to see that again. But anyways, Kingman Wash Road, kind of a designated boondocking area just off of the highway there. Highway 93, I believe is what it is. But yeah, Winnie and I went a week early, caught a bunch of baseball games, and then we went and picked Melissa up from the airport when she flew in. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoy this type of video. We're going to give it a shot, see how it goes, do some commentary on the way. So until the next time you hear me, enjoy. So, during the evening, you saw the burrow earlier. I don't know if this is the same one or not, but we heard some scuffing around. And so we poked our head just through the door of the motorhome, and then what do we see over there? This guy. He was snooting around. He must have smelt what we were making for dinner. It was like Kevin's or something like that. It was good. But yeah, this guy just starts popping around and saying, "Hey, what's up?" They were so fun. That's my favorite part about doing any kind of trips into Nevada and Arizona, is just all of the wild burros. They just bring a smile to my face every time. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. How do you not smile at that? I don't know. Anyways, moving right along. This footage right here is a little bit of drone practice that we were doing in Arizona. This is when Melissa was with me. So it's myself, Melissa, and Winifred here in the Jeep. And this was just a trail. I don't even remember the name of this trail. It's more of like a dirt road. It's very populated. You're going to see in a lot of these clips that there's quite a bit of traffic that go through here. I think off camera we captured or we passed like a garbage truck, maybe even a school bus going down this. So very well traveled. But we just kind of went out there, wanted to practice with the drone, because this trip was really the first trip that I started doing a lot of stuff with my drone. And here you see 4 Jeeps. These guys are heading out to what I believe is a Jeep Badge of Honor trail that's maybe another like 10 miles down this road, and is a much more difficult trail. But you got to get through this kind of easy peasy stuff to begin with. So, but anyways, enjoy the vistas until we get into the next section of the video. Alright, this was our first trip to Sedona, Arizona. Both of us had never been here before. And we only had a couple nights, and so I definitely, the Jeep being brand new to us, I kind of wanted to flex it a little bit, dip my toes into this Jeep Badge of Honor program that Jeep hosts. And this is a trail that they have down there by Sedona. I'm going to read some stuff off here about this trail, but this essentially, this was our first badge of honor, which that badge today, 6 months later after filming this, is proudly displayed on the front quarter panel of the Jeep. So let me go ahead and read this. This is Schnebly Hill Road. It's one of Sedona's most iconic and scenic routes, connecting the Red Rock Canyons below to the pine-covered Mogollon rim above. And you see there we start in all of the trees, and then as we get past this vista, this viewpoint, then we start to get down into the Red Rock. This route is definitely best traveled east to west, which is what we did. The trail is known not for technical obstacles, which there's not really any technical stuff, but it does have unrelenting rock gardens. Example, this is the very first big rock garden that you see, and it's just this huge stretch of all these jagged rocks. I love the guy on the bike going past. So because of that, it does require definitely airing down. We didn't have the ability at this point in time to air down, and so we couldn't. We were running on 38 PSI, which made this, quite honestly, it made it miserable. We were both exhausted by the time we finished this trail, which took about 2 hours, going at a slow pace. Because of that, air down, this wouldn't be so difficult. I shouldn't say difficult. It wouldn't be so uncomfortable. But because of that, drivers will be consistently picking different lines to avoid tire damage or excessive vehicle rattle, especially if you're running a stock rig, which is what we were doing in this time. Like I said earlier, it's not difficult, it's just rough. Along the way, there are definitely several pullouts, which we did take advantage of, a couple of the pullouts, and you'll see I threw drone footage up for the very last part of this. But it just led to some incredible Red Rock viewpoints. It really is such a gorgeous area. I'm trying to look down here on my little script here. What do we see? There's going to be a lot of traffic on this road as well. We were very early in the season, and so we didn't see much, but I think in this clip you might see the tail end of a pink Jeep. Saw a lot of those pink Jeeps that are converted into tour Jeeps. A lot of different companies doing those tours. Yeah, you can see the Jeep just going around that corner right there. But because of that, you do get a lot of traffic on this. So that could add to the length that you're doing on this again. But like I said, it's gorgeous. It was a beautiful vista. It was a fun way to get a little bit more comfortable in the Jeep and to just get a little bit extra seat time and get a feel of how to drive off-road again, because it had been a long time since I'd really driven off-road. As we get into this next segment of the video here, we spent a couple days out at Monument Valley, and we took the time to go through the 17-mile road in Navajo territory. It's a self-guided Monument Valley scenic drive. It's unpaving loop, winding past a lot of iconic red sandstone buttes and mesas. It definitely, I loved this. I could spend an entire day going through this and just sitting and watching and just observing this. But anyways, yeah, it's a little bumpy at times. You'd benefit from airing down just because there's a lot of washboards because of the traffic on here. Couple things to know: you got to pay to get in. No problem whatsoever. This was a really cool thing. They didn't have the horses out at this point during the day. When we came back through at the end of the loop, we did see that they had some horses out, but you can go on horse and trail rides with this group, and they'll actually take you out to some iconic areas that were shot during some very iconic Western movies. This was really cool too. Private residence out here because it's on reservation, so you just have private residents living in this area. Can you imagine that being your backyard? Looking back there, and that's your backyard. That's just amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. So after this, we did jet off to go to Four Corners. And we didn't do any footage at Four Corners. It was super, super windy. And also, you couldn't take Winnie into the actual Four Corners area for pictures or to do the shopping with all of the vendors there. So that was kind of a bummer. So we rotated through that, but still very cool to go to Four Corners and to get some stickers and some souvenirs, some handmade items there from the Navajo people. But again, yeah, this was just, it was so fun. I also ran out of memory on this card, and so it quit after this when we missed a whole other part of the drive that was on there, but that's okay. While we were coming back from the Four Corners, we stopped here and did this Moki Dugway. Now, next time I'm in this area, I'm going to do the entire area. It's escaping me now that off the tip of my tongue what this is called. Highway of the Gods or something along those lines. But anyways, this is Moki Dugway. It's off of Utah Highway 261. It's one of the most memorable drives in the southeast Utah. Climbing the face of a cedar mesa on steep winding stretch of unpaved roads, about 2.5 miles, give or take, that you'll drive on this. A couple fun facts about this: you gain about 1,000 feet of elevation from bottom to top, with grades reaching up to 10%. Most of it's gravel, a few broken pavement sections, but again, super easy to drive. This one we did not need to air down if we would have been able to. It's just not that rough of a road to get up there. And you'll see in this a couple of times, I think some cars passed me, some just regular SUVs, etc. But when you get to the top, the reward is one of the best roadside viewpoints in the region. Near the top of Moki Dugway, there's a pull-out and offers sweeping views of the Valley of the Gods. That's what this area is called, Valley of the Gods. Monument Valley country and a broad desert landscape in Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. Clear days, you might even be able to see Sleeping Ute Mountain in Colorado to the east and Shiprock in New Mexico to the southeast. So I don't know if we saw those or not, but again, just an absolutely stunning area. A little bit of history about Moki Dugway. It was originally built by the Texas Zinc Mining Company to haul uranium ore from the Fry Canyon area to processing mill near Mexican Hat, which, side note, Mexican Hat's another little scenic area you can pop off and actually see this hat balancing like a sombrero. The name comes from Moki, a historic misspelling of Moki, a term once used by Spanish explorers for Puebloan people in the region. Today the term is considered offensive, when referring to Puebloan communities, but the road's name remains tied to the area's older map mining history. Interesting that it is still named that. I wonder how long that will last. Anyways, comment below if you have a theory or whatever. But like I said, it's not difficult to get up there. Dry weather. It's you can't really take large SUVs or trailers, so if you do have something like that, there's an area just below it, a big pull-out area. In fact, some people were boondocking there when we went there. It's gorgeous, though. Highly recommend. Just want to throw this out here. If you've made it this far into the video, we're about halfway through, and you're enjoying this type of content, go ahead and give me a like, comment, and subscribe. This is what I'm going to try to be publishing more and more of as I'm learning more and getting more into this overlanding community and hobby. So yeah, if you made it this far, don't be afraid. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you enjoyed that with little instrumental stuff going on in the background as much as I did. The dash cam does not give it the justice that it deserves, the perspective, but trust me, it's absolutely stunning. It's so gorgeous. Alright, so after Monument Valley, the last stop on our trip was Moab. Iconic, epic Moab. So many different trails here for Jeep enthusiasts, for off-roaders, overlanders, you name it, there is something here for your skill level. Now, I'd never been here before. I mean, I'd been to Moab, but never actually driven around and done anything. We just went for baseball games, and that was it. This, I'm going to say Potash, because I think it's funny, even though I don't think that's how people say that. That Potash Road with the river right there, Colorado River, and people rock climbing, absolutely amazing environment. This is the first trail that we did. This is called Long Canyon. Long Canyon, I'm going to read some stuff, and just so you guys know, everything I'm reading is published on X. It's a overlanding off-road mapping software that kind of helps people get a better idea of the trails that they're going to be going on. It's kind of a community-fed one, so you can put in your own comments and your experiences on the trail and whatnot. Who knows, maybe someday I'll have an affiliate link and people can get discounts by using that link, but that might be a long time away. So anyways, let me read this to y'all. Long Canyon is a beautiful and easy trail beginning just off of 313, heading towards Dead Horse Park. Primarily rock, this trail has no major obstacles on it other than just steep inclines and switchbacks. Early on, there is a wash crossing, which is what we're kind of going through right now and what we saw earlier. That could prove problematic if there has been major rain in the area while you're doing this trail. But other than that, it's super, super easy and simple. Later along the trail, and you guys are going to see this, there is a giant rock underpass. This was stinking cool. In fact, this is it right here. I wanted to stop and take some pictures, but unfortunately I wasn't able to because there were some side-by-sides like right behind us because, again, we're going super slow, but that is such a cool thing to drive through. Anyways, it is important to note that the larger vehicles will not fit through this iconic rock tunnel, so make sure you kind of have an idea so you don't take anything off the top of your rig. And there's also no turnarounds at or near this spot. Keeping your eyes on the road for some stunning views. What we're looking at right now, this route can be completed in either direction. I personally recommend starting off of 313 and going up like what we did versus coming off Potash Road. Sorry, my bad, Potash Road, and going up versus coming down from the top going down. I don't know, I just like that one better. Made the heart pump a little bit more. The road's definitely wide enough for most vehicles on the trail. You've seen a couple of times there were some Jeeps and whatnot that passed. Those were tours. Within Moab, there's side-by-sides that passed us, etc. So plenty of room, lots of pullouts, etc. There's also large parking areas at the end of the trail for larger vehicles. So like if you're going to be, pulling like the motorhome, pull the Jeep, park the motorhome in the large area, then take the Jeep or whatever you may have. Near the top of the canyon, which is what we're getting fairly close to up here, there is a large area for possible viewing of mountain sheep. Now, while we were up there, we didn't see any mountain sheep, but the area is gorgeous, and there's some area footage that I'll just let you guys watch. It is important, though, to remember if you're up there and you do see some wild animals, tread lightly, because that's also a birthing area for them, per this OnX write-up, and, be respectful and keep your distance. etc. But enjoy this rest of this aerial footage. There's, I think, another shot coming up just from the dash, and then we go back to the aerial stuff. These viewpoints were some of my favorite ones of this trip, though. This is why I do this. I am at peace when I have the opportunity to witness these types of vistas. Helps me feel grounded, connected, more centered. In my opinion, absolutely 100% worth it. And with that being said, this is the last clip of Hurray Pass. This is also a classic Moab route that blends scenic red rock landscape with approachable off-road terrain, making it one of the more accessible and popular trails in the region. This trail stretches west from the Cane Creek area, winding its way through a dramatic canyon corridor before climbing to the wide saddle of Hurray Pass, which is where we took this footage. The road's mostly dirt and gravel with some sections of slick rock and sand. There's no mandatory obstacles by any means. But again, just absolutely stunning. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed putting it together and as much as I enjoyed driving these trails. Until next time.